to Toby in Texas, and his wife went through the naked body scanner and got groped. And it's just an act of submission, an act of domination. It's about creating an army of mentally ill goons who will follow any bizarre order. But recognizing that it's tyranny and speaking out is the beginning. But the globalists know it's key to have the TSA break our will, because they're going to roll out on the streets, and they are now rolling out on the streets. So this is prisoner training. Prisoners get frisked. Prisoners get their stuff tossed out on the ground once a month. Well, every time we fly, we're treated like prisoners. We're shouted at. We're yelled at. It's very elementary. There's no doubt that's what this is dog training. And the problem is, if we don't fly, they're expanding it to the roads, the highways, everywhere else. I mean, all we can do is say no, Toby.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, how to get around it or what to do, except for speak out and let everybody know that it's happening. And on another note, we have at our local Walmart here, we have the telescreens already going in. We don't have Big Sis running our ads yet, but they've got the telescreens. I haven't seen TSA agents yet, but I'm sure it's right around the corner.
No, they announced 200 Walmarts at the end of the month, and then another 500 and something. Total, it's more than 800, will be in by the middle of next year. And it's at the checkout lane, literally being bossed around, and she's just the beginning. Like, hi, Walmart shoppers, please watch other shoppers, report anything, as if Homeland Security, that's their job. Be bizarre enough if it was a local police announcement. It's about them getting in our lives, bossing us around, intruding on our space. And people are like, how do we not shop at Walmart? It's all we got. We'll starve. The deals are so good. Walmart got federal law changed so they can inject water in all their meats. You're not getting better deals at Walmart. You'll get a better deal on a few items, but at the cost of your whole country. You don't need their crud. But again, they think they can break our will. Good to hear from you, Toby. Notice how it's gotten bad incrementally, but now it's just getting crazier by the minute because they're accelerating the program. Let's go ahead and talk to Gary in New Mexico. Gary, you're on the air.
Hey, thanks, Alex. I'm about 90 minutes away from Toby here in New Mexico. I had a couple of things to ask you about. One was the Dulce base here in Dulce, New Mexico, with Phil Schneider, and the questions about his death after he spoke, just like yourself and Jordan Maxwell and all your other fellow people who talk about these things. But my question is about in Dulce, it's a level 8 project, and the Rand Corporation picked it up when 41 came into power, and there was not much talked about that, and I just wanted to get your input about...
Well, your phone's a bit distorted. I'm having trouble following it all, but what's going on in New Mexico?
It's called the Dulce base.
Yes.
It's an underground project, and my question was the mysterious death of Phil Schneider, who is a public speaker like yourself, and Jordan Maxwell, and Ike, and people of your stature. Anyway, he was murdered in 97, 7 months after he spoke, and the Rand Corporation picked it up. The project got bigger after this had happened, and now the people in this part of New Mexico are wondering if you'll ever come out and do a show, you and Jesse, or anything upon these lines, because it's
sure. No, I remember the whole Phil Schneider thing. I think I even interviewed him. He covered underground bases and things. The government admits they've spent hundreds of billions on underground bases, but the details are classified. So, I mean, what do you say? We've got an out-of-control government stealing our money, doing whatever it wants.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lung system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lung system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lung system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lung system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. We are now into hour number 2, 8 minutes in. For the next 30 minutes or so, Charlotte Iserbyt, former head of policy at the Department of Education, joins us. Her book has gone out of print. We got 800 copies of it and sold out, and those are being shipped out last week and this week. Just amazing. It's the size of a phone book. But hopefully, she is retired now, but hopefully we can twist her arm in the future to come out with a new edition. But that edition, at least, is gone with the wind. And I wanted to get her on and talk about solutions today, just briefly, because we had her on for an hour last week, ahead of her leaving the country for a few months on a round-the-world vacation, certainly deserved. But she wanted to start the interview with this quote, and it's at the back of a new article that she gave to us at Infowars.com last week, The Death of Free Will by Charlotte Iserbyt, December 2010. And here's the quote by one of the great literary minds of our age, C.S. Lewis. And it continues, if education is beaten by training, civilization dies. See, instead of education, it's training. That's what we have, training. TSA is trained to mindlessly stick their hands down our pants. The school's trained when an 8-year-old has Luden cough drops that aren't even a drug to have them arrested. It's mindless obeyance. But when the Federal Reserve steals trillions, oh, that's okay. They're wearing suits. If education is beaten by training, civilization dies, he, Lewis, writes. For the continuing lesson of history is that civilization is a rarity, attained with difficulty and easily lost. Sounds like Thomas Jefferson. And by the way, we're not a civilized country now. We're a bunch of dumbed-down people that think we're tough. And we're going into bondage and getting hurt real bad because we don't value liberty. Oh, the listeners of this show do. But you try to talk to many of those adults out there, they are babies. These men and women are immature, mindless, sheep-like prey animals, and they're going to get hurt bad. I'm sorry. If education is beaten by training, civilization dies. He, Lewis, writes, for the lesson of history is that civilization is a rarity, attained with difficulty and easily lost. But instead, they laugh at you today. Hey, we better guard our freedom. Hey, this is tyranny. He's funny. He says we shouldn't just give all our rights up. What an idiot. I'm like, hey, if they take your liberty, they'll steal everything you got and make you slaves. It always happens. Oh, look, he uses big words. Oh, fancy pants. You know, I tell Austin cops about corruption. They go, and laugh at me. You know, like I'm weak trying to warn them. Like their ignorance is a shield of infallibility. If education is beaten by training, civilization dies, he, Lewis, writes. For the lesson of history is that civilization is a rarity, attained with difficulty and easily lost. It is the liberal arts, not vocational training, that preserve civilization by producing reasonable men and reasonable citizens. When you hear liberal, that's not the modern liberal. The liberal art is Thomas Jefferson. Is classical understanding of history and a love affair with knowledge. See, I don't have a love affair with knowledge about football scores, and I'm not a fantasy football coach. I'm in the real world. I'm fighting the globalist. I'm fighting real people that have the power to destroy my way of life. Charlotte Iserbyt, I just got done with a 2-hour interview with Rob Dew and Aaron Dykes, who are up there in Maine with her under all the snow. Charlotte, great to have you on with us today.
Thank you very much, Alex, and I'm glad you read that quote. That was the hand of God, that quote. We'd finished the article, which you put up last week, I guess, and the article's great. We think, Debbie Neal and I who wrote it.
Yeah, we'll post the new PDF today. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I found, it was a fluke. I found the wonderful C.S. Lewis quote, which is marvelous because they can always say, you know, we're kooks, right? But C.S. Lewis is no kook. So anyway, what we're putting in is the totalitarian Soviet planned economy workforce training used in Cuba, North Korea, wherever you want.
And they're openly setting up planned economy, announcing regional government. It's all happening.
Yes, and the tragedy on this one, the latest, everything seems to be hitting at once. I have a feeling they're moving very fast this week, and that's why I'm so glad you managed to get my books out. But anyway, the latest news is in the Bangor Daily News today, or yesterday, it's an article entitled Report Calls for Reshaping Augusta. Now, Augusta is our state capital, so that means the whole legislature and all of our rules and regulations, et cetera. Now, what I want to point out, this is a very upsetting article because we elected a wonderful guy as governor, Paul LePage, as governor in early November. He's a self-made man and with all of our principles. And when I say we, it's Tea Party people and, you know, really traditional conservatives in a rock-bound coast, which we don't have anymore. It's a flabby coast now. But these are the traditional Mainers who voted for Governor LePage. And we have great faith in him, but we're warning everybody. We hope that he's going to succeed in rebuffing the agenda, the people around him, some of which are getting their views from the Heritage Foundation and Brookings Institute, et cetera. I'm going to read a little bit of this article, if you don't mind, Alex. And what I want the people out there to be alert for is the same thing happening in their states where they've elected people they thought were going to be very good and probably were until they were encircled by the enemy with the fancy, you know, the fancy reports, the task force reports on how to save money.
And by the way, what's happening in Maine and New Jersey and everywhere else is the same deal. They bring in regional government. They say you're bankrupt. They cut all the basic funding.
Right.
But that will never pay anything off if we don't get rid of the private Federal Reserve. Right. That's the real debt black hole. So they're calling it conservative to slash veterans' health care.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with balancing the budget.
No.
It's the 1,500 trillion derivatives that has to be dealt with.
Yes. Well, I was just so taken aback by this because for years I have been